let's get into that disqualification of George Afriyie right away. We have a couple of issues to talk about, but first thing is that the appeals committee have upheld the decision of the elections committee. George Afriyie's lawyer, lawyer Saka, says that they are heading to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, but they will also explore other possible legal options while they exist to them. Lawyer Amanda Clinton, who also contested the presidency.
Shout out to Amanda Clinton.
Yeah, 4 years ago. She says that George Afriyie deserves to be treated with more respect than what is currently happening. She's not happy at all. Coach, I'm sure you have followed it. You have listened to that 16-minute interview that was done on Point Blank. We'll try and see if we can play excerpts of George Afriyie's lawyer's interview on the show. But this is where we are at. It looks like we might be heading for the polls on the post.
To everybody in Ghana, to everybody listening to Sports Panorama beyond the shores of Ghana, Keto Kriku will not go unopposed. I don't know why they are bent.
Have you seen something we haven't seen?
Look, I don't know why they are. Now, Keto Kriku, if you want to disqualify somebody, do you disqualify George Afriyie, the one you contested against? Do you disqualify?
They say that there were genuine infractions and that he has fallen short of the statutes.
Assuming there were. But your own statute that you are referring to, when the election committee or electoral commission or election committee, whatever they are called, gotten, they should have called George Afriyie and said, look, when we went through your form, pay our own status. Come and take it. Go back. There are issues with it. And George should have been given 3 days. Even that one alone.
And his lawyer states this
that one
in a
alone.
statement.
I don't know why you said you are the best man for the job. You said our football is in the best of hands. The people trust you. The people know you are the best man. The people this, the people that. If you are so much aware of all this, let the contest go on.
Let me read an excerpt from his lawyer. He says, we are going to go to CAS, and that's the instruction I have. We are exploring the situation where the court in Ghana will explore the breaches of the rules on natural justice. That's what you're referring to right now. As far as George Afriyie's candidature to stand for the office of the president of the GFA is concerned.
Mona, Atomo, I waste your time. It's like we are talking about things we shouldn't be talking about.
You mean by now we should have been at the polls?
We should have been at the polls. George by now should have told the football people that this is what I'm going to do for you. Keto Kriku, that look, I have done this.
Don't forget that there's also a motion for an injunction.
That's what I'm saying. See, we have. See, if you want the game to flourish, if you want people to be part of this game and enjoy every bit of it, you yourself don't do anything to frustrate the system. You don't do that, because when you do that, you are pushing people away. And for me, look, we all want our football to go to the next level. Look at how well Dreams FC. Look at how well Midiama. We should be sitting here today and talking about these two teams, hoping and believing that tactically, technically, by whatever means, they will be getting to the group stage of the CAF Champions League and the CAF Confed Cup. But rather, we are wasting our time talking about something we shouldn't be talking about. Why are you frustrating the system? In Keta, what's the meaning of I'm the best man for the job? What's the meaning of I'm the one the football people have trusted with this job, or they will continue to trust? When you make such emphatic statement, you shouldn't be, and you are not afraid of anything. If the contest were to be held today, Ket believes he will win. Ket Okreku, he believes he will continue.
So why is he preventing us from having a contest?
Look, I'm shocked. When I looked at whatever is being written, so many things needs to be changed about some of the statutes of the FA. a sitting president will set up an election committee together with the ESCO members.
I found that very interesting.
Very interesting. No, he was part of the committee.
Look,
who set up the
Congress. I was at Congress. I voted for it.
Hey,
it was Congress.
Those members were voted for at Congress.
Yes.
Those members. Massa.
Yes, it was Congress.
Who put forward their names? Don't do that.
So now
let's have a good program. Let's have a good program. Aminu Shadow, let's have a good program.
I'm going to put
so what I'm saying is this. It's simple. What I'm saying is this. You say you are the best man for the job. You've been in there for 4 years. Talk based on your track record. Open the gateway and let people contest you. From 5 million to 50 million. A very clear attempt to disrupt and then frustrate the system. You know, look, I said it. If nobody will contest him at the time, if George Afriyie had not picked up the form at the time, me, Coach Nimley, I would have gotten people to support me to pay the 50.
You would have contested him.
No, simple.
Chiki is.
Why are you so afraid? Look, the election, Ketokreku will not go unopposed. I am telling Aminu Shadow, I'm telling all the people at the Ghana Football Association who are with Ketokreku, the election committee, I'm telling them, Ketokreku will not go unopposed. I will be the first person to congratulate Ketokreku on this same platform. If he goes and contests the election with George Afriyie and he wins, hands down, Coach Nimley, I'll come and I'll congratulate him and I will support him to succeed for the next 4 years because it is not about him.
Thank you.
It is not about any individual. It's about our football.
Yeah.
So if you love our football, you wouldn't do anything to destroy our football. Why? Let the contest roll. Like George Afriyie lawyer rightly said, the FA rules is not bigger than the rules of Ghana.
Yep.
It is not bigger and supreme to the rules of Ghana. Every available option will be exploited to make sure that there will be a contest on the 25th.
Yeah.
Is it 24th or 25th of October?
As things stand now, there's no proper date.
Now, it has been moved to 5th October now.
You see, look, they shouldn't do anything.
The date 27th.
They shouldn't do anything for people to suspect that.
In fact,
already.
Let me even go in that direction because of that question.
What is that?
I mean, now you are team
What
manager
is that?
of the FA. You are Dreams FC.
Not team manager.
They've moved the thing from 20-something to 5th October.
So this is it.
Look, Ghana Bango.
At the moment, there's
Ghana Bango. Ghana Bajo. Ilakabu. They should go ahead and you'll see what will happen.
Hold on.
See, at the moment, there is a court hearing or an injunction hearing filed by King Faisal against the process.
Yeah.
The case has been adjourned 3 times now. And the new date is 28 September, which is a day after the original date of 27th.
Yeah.
So the GFA brought out a new statement that, okay, because of that, they are moving the Congress, the elective Congress now to 5th October, hoping that by 28 October, they will have settled all the differences. And then on the 5th, they go to Tamale for that election. So at the moment...
So who gave them the 27th October?
28 October. That's when the case is adjourned. That's the date agreed by the lawyers. That's on that date. Let's come and meet with the judge, and then we'll settle that case.
Is it 28 September or 28 October?
28 September. 28 September is the new date for the court hearing.
What was the original date for the election?
27 September. So it means that they'll have to then move the date to 5th October, which they've done at the moment. And so we are just waiting for that 28 September to see what the court will say. Because what the issue about that court hearing is that King Faisal wants the GFA to start elections from the bottom.
Yeah.
So the RFA should start before we get to the presidency. The GFA at the moment maintains that they will still start from the top.
Because of your people will lose the election.
On 5th October,
you want to be ruling people who don't like you.
On 5th October, when you look at the roll call, starts after the opening prayer and everything. It starts with the presidential election. So there's still the plan to start with the presidential election first before we get to the lower levels.
Let me ask Aminu something, right? So The FA president granted an interview to Super Sport where he was asked about going unopposed, and he said he was unsure if that was what was going to happen. But he did say that, he did hint that he would go unopposed in that interview. Fast forward, George Afriyie has been disqualified. There are those who say, or there's a school of thought, that one, like his lawyer mentions natural justice, there was an opportunity for the FA to call George in to rectify his filing process. He was not granted that privilege. So there are people who say that there is a premeditated attempt to have the FA president allegedly go unopposed. How's the FA taking in all of this? Because, I mean, like we have all agreed, the football ecosystem works together. You don't want a system where you go unopposed. There are factions who are not happy with you. How is the FA taking all of this?
Okay, Benjamin, first and foremost, let me put in this disclaimer. I'm not here to speak on behalf of the Football Association.
Fair enough.
I'm here to speak in my capacity as Aminu Shadu, who also practice in the same industry.
And work for Keto Kreku. Add that one. And work for Keto Kreku. Everybody knows in Ghana that you work for Keto Kreku.
No, but he says he's not speaking for Aminu. Hold on. The microphone's out. Hold on. The micro. Hold on. Let me just say this. Hold on. Let me just say this. You see, there's this in this job there are ethics. If Aminu says that he does not want to be quoted as Dreams FC administrative manager for the things he says, I think that's fair. I think that's fair enough. He can speak in his private capacity. So I understand. But I'm also saying that he reserves the right.
As to he not speaking for Dreams or everyone on this matter accepted, that he worked for Dreams. That was what declared.
Established.
That's one. Today he's here for Minister.
I don't even have a challenge with that. So if
that's right.
I don't have a challenge.
Please go ahead.
Okay.
First and foremost, you don't control what people think. You know, people have the right to think whatever they want to think. But at the end of the day, you look at the facts of the matter. And you see, I was very, very amused when I was listening to Coach, because it appears in all the discussions, the gamut of the issue is being dodged. Why are we not attacking the main issue?
Okay.
What is the issue? The issue has to do with rules and regulations. In football, there are rules and regulations.
Now go D.
That's why when you are playing football and you infringe on an opponent in the penalty area, the referee is likely to penalize you with a penalty kick. Yes. Rules and regulations. Has the rules and regulations been followed to the letter?
No.
The facts of the matter bears it clear.
No.
It's clear.
No.
Now, what is the no?
The no is if I file a form and there is problem, the rule says that
that's not
if you look at my form,
that's not what the rule says.
Put it.
I'll put it clear.
Hold on.
Don't worry.
Okay. So let me get into it. So looking at the verdict from the appeals committee, they quote that instance again, that Article 8, that's clause 3 of the GFA regulations on elections provides as follows. At the latest 2 days after the deadline for submission of candidature, the elections committee shall inform in writing candidates who have failed to provide all the relevant documents in support of their candidature and grant them another 3 days to complete the application.
Fail to what?
Fail to provide all the relevant documents. So the committee goes on to say that this is not applicable to George Afriyie because in submitting all his documents, he did not leave any out.
Good.
He has submitted every document that they want.
Thank you.
So with them, this part of the law doesn't apply to him being called to this.
It is clear.
That's what they state.
It is very clear.
That's what the appeal. Hold on. That's what the appeal.
Which article are they quoting?
No, but it's my time. It's my time. You had your time.
Which article?
I'll give you a chance.
You had your time.
Please make your point.
It's clear. The regulations are very clear. For you to be called to come and rectify your documentation, it is when you've not been able to submit a complete list of documents that are being required of. In this case, in this instant case of George Afriyie, is it the case that he left out a certain document? The answer is no. He produced all the documents that they are looking for. So this is not applicable. So that's what I'm saying, that you can make all the emotional and sentimental arguments, but when it comes to the gamut of the issue,
he had 6.
You'll be found wanting.
He had 6 people.
That's not even relevant.
You wait.
The form,
ambush process.
The problem is that George Afriyie unfortunately, in my opinion, and per the rulings, has been let down by people who were manning this procedure for him. And I'll use myself as an example. I was the one in charge of ensuring the form of Ketokriku was well endorsed. After I've done my work, in fact, I appeared before a panel for them to vet the process. Each individual who was on Ketokriku's form, I was asked stringent questions.
Okay.
This person, have you checked the CMS system? Is he a signatory to the club in which it he
Who invited you? Who were those asking those questions?
I said, my panel.
Okay.
A panel, an internal panel. I'm just giving you what I went through as somebody who was.
So you filled the form.
So, yes, I superintended over. In fact, I did the same. I had the privilege to do the same in the last elections. And I was given the responsibility to ensure that the form has been filled and all the relevant documents have been gathered. So after, I just didn't go and submit it. I appeared before an internal panel where they asked me stringent questions. This person who has endorsed the form is the person who he claims he is.
Yeah.
For instance, if the person says he's general manager, have you checked the company records at the registrar general whether indeed the person claims to be general manager is indeed the general manager? Then they'll take.
Okay.
You go into the records of the GFA, the Connect system. You ask the IT people, this person claims he is general manager of this club. Is it in their system or in your records that he is what he is? Then we click. So I suspect, based on this experience that I suspect that unfortunately for George Afriyie, perhaps this level of due diligence was not done. Because if it was done, I don't understand how come somebody who, per the ruling, who is not a director of the club,
you will provide
signed as a director of a club.
You will provide the video evidence.
Where it was
the
clear,
man wrote to you.
Where it is clear, there you can now the registrar general's department. When you want to check directors of companies, very easy.
Hold on.
Button.
You can check.
Hold on. Yeah. Amanda Clinton raised a very interesting concern that her time she did a similar mistake where one of her endorsement or the people who endorsed her, one of them had an issue, and she was called behind the scenes to rectify that. So she was given that privilege, and it's clear.
So this is precedence.
Yeah, it's a precedence.
It's not precedence.
Hold on. Let Pichichi make it.
Amanda,
you are not there. Let Amanda.
So let's hold on.
You cannot speak for Amanda. Let her speak.
Don't worry.
You have the voice.
Let's listen to say it's no different from what Pichichi
said. No, let's listen to the voice. Let's listen to the voice. Let's listen to the voice.
I'll play her voice.
The fact that somebody has run a red light and wasn't caught by police.
Look at that.
Doesn't mean if you run a red light and your justification is that the person who came before
that's inconsistency.
Hold on, please let me flow. Allow me. When you're speaking, you gave me a caution. Please allow me. The fact of the matter is that the fact that you were given a pass in the past does not mean that when somebody infringes today, the rules shouldn't be applied. And that's why I come back to the gamut of the issue.
But hold on, is that not to say that the FA has no consistent rules and FA doesn't follow its own rules?
You should be applauding the FA today. That they are upholding the rules and regulations of the game. That's what you should be doing.
Look at this man.
That's what you should be doing.
Wow,
you should be applauding
so
the
4
FA.
years ago, it was fine to let Amanda
say it's fine.
That is the input of what you are saying.
If I had wins.
So do you agree that based on that precedence, George Afriyie can go to court with this?
No, he can't because
what do you mean he can't?
What's the precedent?
What do you mean?
The
you give someone a lifeline to rectify.
No. One thing you also don't understand is that the elections committee is not a judicial component or a judicial arm of the FA.
The court will compel them to act.
Will you allow me, please? Please.
Finish. Make your point. Make your point.
The elections committee is an ad hoc committee, just like the club licensing committee. They don't have judicial powers. Their decisions are not binding judicial in terms of legal on the FA. They are not. The legal entities of the FA are clear. The disciplinary committee, the ethics committee, and then the appeals committee. It's clear.
Okay.
So decisions of the elections committee cannot be said as legal precedent. It's just not.
Sorry, hold on. I'll give you a chance to respond. Let's listen to Amanda Clinton speak about this issue. We'll come back and continue.
This matter could have been cured procedurally because the matter was cured for me 4 years ago. And I say this because one of my signatories didn't rank to sign. And I literally just got a courtesy phone call to, within, I think, 24 hours, replace that person because it's something I was unaware of in terms of that person didn't have rank to sign. So it really is a matter that could have been cured at first instance with a courtesy call because optics-wise, it's going to look really bad for Kurt.
I think that Amanda Clinton makes it clear. She says that even hers was 24 hours before, and she was given time. I think that.
So you are saying, is it your position that when rules are breaking, we should give people a pass?
Nobody's breaking rules here.
I'm giving you.
Nobody's breaking rules here.
Hold on. There's a difference between not doing the appropriate thing or following right procedure or making mistakes in the process of following right procedure.
Different things.
It's different. So you and Nimili, are telling me today that somebody who is purporting to be president of the Ghana Football Association.
Look at what you are saying.
Highest position in football.
The highest position in the land.
And the person is not able to fill a form. We want to give our football to this person.
Are you telling me
that's what you are suggesting to us?
When Nana Kume do Ajima Rawlings,
this has started to do when Nana Kume do. We are talking about
Hold on.
Let's stick to football.
Listen, so
if you allow me, I'll finish.
Hold on.
I know football. I'm talking football. I'm not talking about any other thing.
I'm wrapping up this topic in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
In 2 minutes. Aminu, I give you 30 seconds to wrap up your point.
Yes.
From what we've heard from Amanda Clinton, it is clear that this George Afriyie situation is not peculiar.
Yeah.
This is not a strange situation. This is something that happens. And if you want to go on the tangent of if you want to be president, you shouldn't make this mistake.
Odote was disqualified on procedural ground when he was trying to run for FA president.
do you know
different context?
Different context.
Whatever the context is, he didn't meet the criteria.
Fair enough. Okay. I think he's made a point.
And the final point is that he has every right. Look, me, I'm a sucker for rules and regulations. If they say they are going to CAS or they are going to use any legal remedy that's available to them, fair deal. They have every right to pursue this case to its logical conclusion. But I can give you a certain prediction based on what I have seen, based on precedents that I have read about rulings about these things, and based on the fact of the matter that indeed there was infraction. In fact, in this appeal, he even admitted to it that he has even made an infraction. So if you have even admitted to that infraction,
it's not true.
Open
his appeal and prove it.
If you can get that fast, coach, wrap up fast. Let me move to a different topic.
Look. The fact of the matter is this. It is very decent to disguise yourself, not to be talking for somebody. By every actions of yours, every input of yours is.
That's what you are doing. But that's what you are doing.
I don't support Kurt.
No, but you are with George Afriyie.
I don't support Kurt.
You are with George Afriyie.
I say I don't support Kurt.
You are with George Afriyie.
I don't support Kurt.
Make your point. I don't support Kurt. We need to move it on.
The fact of the matter is
George Afriyie just says
the fact of the matter.
George Afriyie doesn't wrong with that. Kurt says you.
I'm moving on to a different topic. Hold on. I don't need interruption. If one person can't speak at a time, I'll move on to the next topic. Aminu, hold on. I allowed you to make your point. Let Nimli make his point. I'm moving on to the Champions League. Let me read a few messages and no. Hold on. Hold on.
You need to give me a point.
Make your point. I mean, please.
You cannot come here. No, but it's the same time. The general secretary came here and I dealt with it. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Make your point.
That's like my 20 seconds point.
I'll make my point.
No, you had a chance to make your point.
You started a show.
No.
He started a show.
And then I gave you 20 minutes.
But he started a show. Look at what is that why you came here today?
Make your point.
No,
Make your point.
The fact of the matter is this. Ketokreku will not go on the post.
That's not fact.
Aminu should mark it on the wall.
That's not fact.
And two, like Amanda Clinton clearly said, this problem could have been solved and we could have had a healthy FA
elections.
It's
a healthy contest.
Oh, let me learn.
It is a healthy
Please
contest.
don't.
You know what? Don't interrupt. You see, finish.
Don't do
I'm
that.
telling you.
Don't do that.
He was doing the same to me.
Don't do this. Don't do this.
No,
make your point and let me go.
Very simple. You are the best man for the job.
Yeah.
You are to be trusted. What are you afraid of? No amount of ambush. I'm stating it here emphatically. Like he rightly said, the George Afriyie camp will exploit every meaningful opportunity to them to make sure this. And like I was saying, Nana Kunedu Ajima Rawlings and people who wanted to rule this country, when they made mistakes on their form, the Supreme Court of this country told the EC, go and give them back their forms and let them rectify it. Mistake down. He has never made any common mistake before.
Not with the form.
You sit there.
Not with the form.
You know who Nasri?
If you don't go to
let's listen to George Afriyie's lawyer.
If you don't go to heaven, don't believe this.
You know who Nasri?
If you look at paragraph 2IV, right? Paragraph 2. In fact, if you look at paragraph 2II, and IV of the decision, I don't know whether you have it with you. Even the elections committee admit in their decision that they received 6 supporting documents. Their issue was that in the case of one of the supporting documents, the person had signed a statutory declaration. This was Nana Ameya Omenu of Techima 11 Wonders FC. He had signed a statutory declaration in support of George Afriyie, but had not endorsed the nomination form. And they say that George Afriyie, who is the one in contention, had signed the form and also a statutory declaration. But he was not a director of the company, so he wasn't mandated to sign. And our argument is that when you go to the statutes and the regulations on elections of the GFA, we don't even have formal documentation to be completed by such persons in order to indicate their support of a candidate or otherwise. So that if you find a member, we are talking about members, a member of the association whose officer or director has communicated to you by one formal process or the other that we are in support of this person's candidature, you ought to consider it in the context of eligibility to stand office. And eligibility to stand office has been what? Provided for in the statute. And they say that you would want to cross-check that person's application against what is required. And when the person falls short, let the person know that you this and this document. If you cannot provide it within this period, your application is deemed as invalid.
Okay. Let me just, in conclusion, say that you were disqualified, or your client was disqualified. He has appealed. That appeal has been dismissed. The options are okay. It's not my opinion, actually. Let me read for you the statute, the 2019 statute, section 61. If you could go with me, arbitration. It says disputes in GFA or disputes affecting members of GFA, leagues, members of leagues, clubs, members of clubs, players, and officials shall not be submitted to ordinary courts unless the FIFA regulations, these statutes, or binding legal provisions specifically provided for or stipulate recourse to ordinary courts. Such disputes, as specified in paragraph 1, shall be taken before the Court of Arbitration for Sports, CAS, in Lausanne, Switzerland.
Good. Now, I'll just point 2 things out to you. You see, the Article 61 says this about it. And then you would go to Article 58 that deals with appeal. Article 58(5) will tell you that apart from Lausanne, you can go to a national independent arbitration tribunal here in Ghana to deal with such an issue. So that is the first thing we need to note. That it's not only CAS that can deal with this matter. The second thing we need to note is that in the case we put before the appeals committee, we put a case including the breaches of the rules of natural justice, which by extensive law, and I don't want to bore you with citations, the decisions have been that when it comes to allegations of the breach of the rules of natural justice, these contractual agreements between parties such as the statutes of the GFA would not override the decisions or the authorities of the courts about them.
Good. So in 10 seconds, you would explore courts in Ghana. You're not going to CAS as yet.
We are going to go to CAS as far as the rules on GFA regulations are concerned. And that's the instructions I have. And we are exploring the situation where the courts in Ghana would explore the breaches of the rules of natural justice as far as George Afriyie's candidature to stand the office of president of GFA is concerned.
Very well.
So these are all available options.